Hi, Sagittarius. Long time no see, I know. Um, so I won't give any spiel, I will just get right into your reading. So, two themes that are very important for you right now, and probably in some way controlling your life at the moment, are giving into indulgence and I got projection. Okay? So let's start with the giving into indulgence. So, anyway, sorry, I got distracted. So, I have just had overwhelming cravings for sugar, right? Like uncontrollable. And, I have been making a conscious effort to try and cut sugar out of my diet as much as possible. But before this reading, I had to go pour honey in my mouth. Um, and right when I said that, the Three of Swords and the Eight of Cups came out. So, what I'm getting from that is that I think the theme of giving into our indulgence and what we're craving, what we're desiring, even when we shouldn't be, it has to do with some kind of past loss, past heartbreak, that maybe we're remembering, we're really, really stuck on. Or it could be a future one where you're going to have to walk away from somebody and it's breaking your heart. And one, besides all the physical reasons for craving sugar, one very important thing why we crave sugar is because, especially when we're depressed, right, we're emotional, we crave sugar because it's like a moment of temporary sweetness. And, if you're mourning the loss of someone, even if you walked away from them, it's very possible that you're using sugar as, a way to not, sorry, I don't know why I'm so distracted all of a sudden. It's like my energy just got so scattered. You know why? I think it's because I'm saying stuff that you don't want to deal with. Yeah, I just realized that my light here isn't working. Better. Anyway. Yeah, so Sag, I know you are all optimistic and lighthearted, but I think it's about time that we touch on some of this stuff. I think it's actually very important. All right. So I brought up projection because this heartbreak, right, that you're focusing on, this person you walked away from or are going to walk away from, or who walked away from you, but I think you were the one who did the walking. I think the theme of projection comes out here strongly because you either had an epiphany where you realized that you thought you were walking away from someone bad, let's say. And since then, you've been able to get in touch with yourself and you realize that the traits that you were putting on them were not their traits, and you may have walked away from somebody that, if you hadn't been projecting, you would never have walked away from. And, for those who don't know what projection is, it's, this very interesting psychological phenomenon that we do, and that is when we deny certain traits about ourselves, like, selfishness, helping people only to benefit yourself, stuff like that. And we deny that they're part of our personality when they are. We have a tendency to project them onto other people because we refuse to see them in ourselves, so we see them in other people. Or it's possible that this person that you're about to walk away from, you realize they're not who you think or who you thought. And it's possible that you have fallen in love with an image that you've created yourself. For those of you that are dealing with Pisces, Neptune is in Pisces right now. And wherever Neptune is creates fog and confusion. But it's also a very dreamy, romantic energy. Oh my goodness. This is too funny. Okay, so I got the King of Wands, right? So the King of Wands could very easily be Sagittarius, right? And I have the Queen of Cups in reverse, which usually talks about Pisces or another water sign. But I'm getting Pisces and Sagittarius here. And I got the Six of Wands pop out with that. So what I'm getting from these are, I'm getting a sense of overconfidence in a way that can be, just for ego inflation. And one of you is projecting that onto the other. Or we may not realize how much ego is actually coming into play in that relationship, in that dynamic, or how much it did. It's crazy. These are my other two cards for Pisces and Sagittarius. I don't know what's going on right now, but anyway. And with the Page of Cups, Pisces is usually the one that's like, hey, do you want my cup of love? Like, here it is. And Sagittarius is like, yeah, sure, I'll take it for a night. Like, that's literally the epitome of, it's just popped out again. Anyway, for the ego boost. God, Tara's so funny. Anyway, so let's do reading. Also, I'm terrible with planning, so I'm not going to say this is exactly for the month of July. If this reading resonates for you for July, cool. And if it doesn't, then I'm going to say that I'm going for whenever you see this reading is when you're meant to see it. This is very interesting. Oh man, this is much more interesting than the Capricorn reading I just did. The Capricorn one was interesting too, I think. I don't know. Okay. Alright, Sag. We have the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. I can tell you right now, this is about some past person. At least whoever I'm reading for. Okay? Anyway, so the energy that I have going into the reading is the Sun in reverse and the Nine of Swords. So going in, it's like you know what you want. That'll make you happy. Okay, the Sun, that's what it is. It's, at your true essence, what do you want? What makes you happy? What illuminates you and shows your light fully? But you, instead of making a move on it, you're kind of agonizing. And you're blocking your own happiness. And I think you're making the path to get there harder than it needs to be. Or it could be that something is blocking your happiness. All right. When I looked at this card, one, the High Priestess is Pisces card, also Cancer. Pisces is all of this reading. But, yeah, so this is Pisces, right? But the first word that popped into my head when I looked at this is compartmentalization. So if you look at the curtain in here, it's like it's kind of falling down, like, it was put up. You couldn't see what was in that compartment. And, I mean, this is about to go. This made my, left arm not shiver, get goosebumps because it sounds creepy when I say it. But it's like the curtain kind of falls down. You weren't carefully keeping that wall closed, so the curtain just kind of peeled back a little bit. And you kind of saw who you put in that one compartment. And, now that this person caught your vision, right? They caught your memory, you're like, oh, I forgot. Oh, I forgot they were in there. And so you start looking through there. And you realize there's like a vast ocean in front of that person, sitting in the compartment to be taken out whenever you felt like. The ocean represents water. The ocean represents water, like no shit. Sorry. But the ocean represents our emotions. And, it's a fucking ocean. It's not a puddle. This is someone who is highly, highly emotional. And, someone that you feel like where you lacked emotionally was able to fill you up, and not in just some way, like in ways that you never felt before. There's also an owl in this card. And so the owl in this card, owls classically represent wisdom. And then there's it looks like two nuns, one wearing black and the other wearing white, representing yin and yang balance. And you start staring at this old compartment that you had thought that you put away, and you were done with that. We're all good now. We're good. It's like, well, now you can see through it, and it's like, oh, we're not good. You remember that this person had a lot to give you emotionally, which, listen, if you're a fire sign, fire, if it had emotions, right, it would be terrified of being dropped into the ocean, right? It feels like it's going to put out your fire. But, you don't have to plummet into the ocean. It could be that if you sit by the ocean, when you're on the beach and you're sitting by a campfire, You hear the the raves. Rave. Anyway, ugh. Anyway, when you hear the waves rolling in and you feel the warm glow from the fire, is that not the best feeling? Because you have balance of all the elements. You have wind, you have air, you have sand, earth, you have the ocean, water, you have the fire. And that scene is always so wonderful because you have this amazing balance that you normally never have access to. And, Sag, you don't have to be afraid of water. You need to change your perspective and realize that this is kind of just, if you can realize that you are not whole without the three other parts, and if you can incorporate all the other parts, that's how you're going to feel whole. And I'm talking about the four elements. So the next in your past, we have the Lovers. And we have the Ace of Wands. So with this fear of water, with this being terrified of water, saying like, I can't do this, you turn this person away. You turn down whatever they're offering. And you're like, this is definitely the best option. Mm-hmm. And you might have walked away. And now in the present, we have the King of Wands and the King of Swords. So this is fire and air energy. The King of Swords is in the reverse. So what I'm getting from this is that your actions are not matching up with your thoughts in your mental process. So you're keeping yourself stuck and in limbo. It's like, and actually if you look at these cards, make sure you can still see them. Yes, so if you look at these cards here, the King of Wands is actually looking directly at the Six of Cups. Okay, like, there's very blatant eye contact there, actually. Well, not eye contact, but like stare. And if you look at this card, like the little boy, and I assume that's a boy, in that picture, he's wearing red. So I'm going to say he represents fire. And the King of Wands over here, looking at it, represents fire. I'm also wondering if, the King of Wands, he's a little older now. He's looking back. And these two are actually the people on the back of this chair, maybe. Anyway, there's this very strong connection there. But you know what you want, you know what you want to create, and you know what you want to move towards, but your thoughts, you keep rationalizing for why you shouldn't do it. It's like fire is impulsive, right? I'm an Aries, I know. I'm Pisces Aries. But fire is impulsive, and Aries is the sign of impulsivity. And when Aries wants to do something, there's no like, oh, well, maybe I should. Aries is just like, I'm going to go do this. And they decide what they're doing once they jump off the cliff, right? It's like, well, maybe that wasn't a good idea. Anyway, fire is action, it's passion, and it's impulse. And then air energy is mental. Like, right now I'm really getting a mental ping pong. And you're just hanging in limbo. And I think being able to catch that, make it a conscious thing that you're doing, I think is what's kind of going to wiggle you out of this stuck mode. And I just thought of, when you play air hockey and like the puck, you hit it and like the other person hits it and then it just kind of gets stuck between like the puck and the wall, like over and over and over. That's what I'm seeing for this. And if that person just moves, their hand, then the puck can move. But they're scared too because they're like, well, I can lose and it could go into my goal. Or, I won't lose and it goes the other way and I just see what happens. So you can say stuck, or you can just let it go and take your chances. And it looks like in the future you do. Oh. Yeah, so we have the Six of Cups, the Eight of Cups in reverse, and the Tower. So whoever you're going back to is a big deal. You've had your time to reflect on what you had, and maybe mourn the loss, and you've stayed stagnant. Maybe you use this time to get in touch with your spirituality, or you had a spiritual teacher helping you to understand everything a little more. But I really believe that, oh my God, you are going to go offer someone something that maybe you offered before. And it's going to give you what you want, which I'm seeing is to not have to do it alone. Yeah. So the two energies I'm seeing most prominently in here are Pisces and Sagittarius. You. So, however this resonates for you, I am very curious, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Again, I'm a Pisces, so I'm kind of like, but I have a lot of Sagittariuses in my life, so I'm kind of going to peek over there and be like, so guys, how's it going? But anyway, if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do. If you wanted to like this video and leave me a comment, I wouldn't say no. But yeah, good luck with this reading, guys. This feels like a big moment to you, where you finally know what you want and you go for it. Yeah, but I will see you guys soon. Thank you for being here and listening to me babble.